Hi guys, and welcome back to the Naya Care family. Actually, I had to be very truthful. I had to hide today to kind of do this video. Being a mom of four, trying to run a business, I just couldn't figure out the time or place to do this. And you know what? I said I'm just actually going to be open about it and welcome to reality because everything is not as perfect in everyone's world. So here, a little window into mine. I brought one of my favorite flower arrangements that I have made to kind of give a little bit of sprucing to this environment. But I think more importantly is if you've clicked on it, it's for you to actually get the education piece of it and realize that, you know, life happens. If you've been watching our videos, we try to promote self-care here. And one way we do it is we're going to take about a minute, I guess now, of just some kind of deep breathing exercises. What we're going to talk about today is breastfeeding and how much milk a baby's supposed to be getting in the first week and the challenges that come with it. So, but before we dive into this, as you know, we're going to be just taking a minute or so here and really kind of focusing on our breath. And doing it, so each breath, what happens, we do about 5 minutes of breathing, and then each breath, hopefully you'll start increasing your intervals of inhaling and exhaling. So start off with maybe the first breath is like 5 seconds, and hopefully by the time you get to your fifth breath, it's 10 seconds of really deeply inhaling and 10 seconds of exhaling. And maybe this is the only time that you can get self-care. But at least it's a start, and again, from our end, validating that why self-care is important and why you are the foundation of your family and your newborn and why you are so important. So let's go ahead and get started. And again, I like to close my eyes. Feel free to do what you like to do, but definitely concentrate on those breaths. So when you're breathing in, really breathe in from your nose and exhale through your mouth. You might feel uncomfortable in this space, you know, your mind's racing and everything like that, and you know, honestly, it's okay. When I started my meditation journey, it was like that for me. I'm only able to do true meditation in increments of 2-3 minutes, and I started off with only 15 seconds. So in this last breath, please just really take the time for 10 seconds in through your nose, and then 10 seconds out. Now for this last breath, really take the time for 10 seconds in, slow, controlled 10 seconds out. Awesome, couldn't have timed that better, and that was not even planned. Mama, you're important. It's that simple. It's literally that simple. You're important, and hopefully with this little bit of meditation, a little bit of breathing exercises that we do right in front of the videos, keeps revalidating your importance. So now let's talk about breastfeeding. Oh my gosh, this is such a amazing topic in many ways, and also very, there's so much information out there, and you just sometimes can get lost. We will put a link in this video, or it'll be on some form of media that we're going to have, where it shows you how much milk a baby is going to be getting in the first week of life. And you might have seen it. It's like about, you know, the first one's like a little bit about of a cherry size, and then it gives like fruits and all. What I encounter is moms will look at that and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I was like, well, do you understand how much milk that really is? So let's just take the first day, the first 24 hours, right? Your baby needs a teaspoon. A teaspoon. That's 5 mLs. That's it. That could be like a couple of drops of colostrum per feed. And that's it. That's all your baby needs. And when I highlighted that way and I pointed it that way, moms are like, wait, that's it? And you're like, yeah. We come from a culture, a bottle culture, where we think that every baby needs about 2 to 3 ounces every 2 to 3 hours. And yes, that is, but that's not until further on down the road, like around 2 weeks or even 3 weeks. But the first week, if you actually look at that chart, the amount is so tiny, and then if you say it out loud to yourself, then you're like, oh yeah, that's not that much. And then breastfeeding doesn't feel like, oh my God, this is like a mountain I can never climb, and which really isn't the case. So again, going back to the first 24 hours, you only need 5 mLs per feed. And that could literally be just those couple of drops that you're getting of colostrum are going to be sufficient. So now a couple of struggles I like to highlight with breastfeeding is one, in the first 24 hours is this notion about how much they ate, like I had previously mentioned. But, just learn the latch. That's what I tell all my clients and all my mamas. Learn the latch. You're probably in a facility that has great lactation support. Get them, tag them in and say, hey, help me with my latch. Why the latch is so important? Because that sets up the breastfeeding relationship. I equate it to a personal trainer. Personal trainer, if you're doing weights and stuff in particular, unless you get the form right, they're not going to increase weights on you. They'll be like, no, 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 you've got to keep working on the form. Otherwise, you won't be able to do the other challenges with increasing weight. Same thing with breastfeeding. Learn the latch, get the latch down. That's all you need to concentrate in the first 24 hours. Things that can impede that is IV fluids. If you've gotten IV fluids, I always say we can't really do a study like this because it'll be unethical, is to figure out how much IV fluids really does impact a baby, because we can't take your baby out, weigh them, and then put them back in. But we can presume for some literature that's out there in the birthing centers and the midwifery centers that, when we give moms IV fluids, we're connecting it to their veins, and in turn, it will go to the babies. And I encounter moms, they always complain about, their hands being swollen or their legs being swollen. Well, your baby got that fluid as well. Too much fluid on board, and again, you can't really define what too much is, because each mom is going to be a little bit different, just like medications and stuff. The dosing, you just can't, you have a general range. But too much fluid in a body can also delay lactogenesis, meaning the milk coming in. So if you are anticipating your milk coming in to the third day and it still hasn't come in, and you're like, wait, what's going on? Kind of do a self-check. Are you still swollen? And if you are, and in most cases you are, that means you still have fluids on board. And what that means is that you just need more time for it to get those fluids off, and your milk will be coming in. In those scenarios, keep nursing. There might be medical indication for supplementing. Please talk to your provider. Call us. We do consults as well. But it's not nothing with your bodies. You might have just gotten fluids. Then the other challenge I notice is around 3 to 4 days, when, I get this, oh, my latch was great in the hospital. We were doing so good, and we come home and like everything goes to shamble. What is going on? Well, one thing that's going on is if your milk is coming in, you're going to get engorged. And remember, the mechanism of breastfeeding is you actually need that nipple, your nipple, to be erect for the baby's mouth to get it, and then the tongue to milk it at the bottom of it. So you need a nipple that's erect for the baby to grasp onto it. And then sometimes nipple shields help with this. Sometimes if you have a Hako or a pump, just pumping a little bit milk out to erect those nipples will help improving the latch. And then if you're in the Denver metro area, and if you're worried about tongue ties or anything like that, we do a full oral evaluation about it, and I also kind of clip ties. So one of the last things that I see in the first week of struggles is like, oh my God, now my milk has come in. I don't know what to do with this. It's so many lumps and bumps. I'm feeling so engorged. I'm feeling so tight. And you know, you really do have to work on getting all of those lumps and bumps out. Again, you might need to pump a little just to relieve the nipples to being erect, and then have the baby latch on. Your baby is the best pump, and really work on those. If you have really tiny lumps and bumps, using an electric toothbrush really helps in those kind of spots to get those out. Warm compresses help when you're actually pumping to get all of that flowing. And if you feel yourself, you know, if this is your second baby or third baby and you said, I've experienced that before, is there anything else? If you've tried sunflower lecithin, that's sunflower lecithin. Kelly Mom, I love that blog also, has a great dosing link for it as well, and we'll put it down in our video and again in all other media platforms for you to get that information. But that's something that you might want to try if you get repeat lumps and bumps. So again, to review some of the challenges for the first week is, yes, you guys know how much milk to get, but then when you actually look at it and you're like, it's only like a couple of drops, that's 5 mLs, and you're like blown away by that. So really when you look at that chart, define what that means. The next day it's about 10 to 20 mLs. I mean, again, two teaspoons, barely making a tablespoon of milk per feed. That's really important. Idea of IV fluids and how it delays milk coming in, so there's nothing really wrong with you. It's just that you might have gotten IV fluids in your process of delivery and you just need a little bit more time for your milk to come in. Medically speaking, we might need to supplement around this time, but that does not mean anything on your end. Like, that does not indicate that your breastfeeding journey is going to go one way or the other. It's just the situation you were in. The latch, again, with the milk coming in and engorgement, and then lastly, the lumps and bumps. If you need any help with all of this, we do consulting here. Just go to our website. You can do one-off consulting. You can get a package, whatever fits your needs, and hopefully this video has helped. Thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing and commenting, and I feel like all those YouTube video people to do that, but please help share our mission and our education. Thank you so much.